Happy Friday, newsies. It is I, Becca Lori Hector here, back to host another edition of Neurodiversity Newsstand. Um, those of you that follow me regularly and subscribe to the channel may have noticed that last week I did not do a newsstand. And that is really odd for me. I usually stick with my routine and stick with my schedule and all of that stuff. But I was so tired. I was just so tired. I couldn't find the spoons to pull it together for last week. I just could not get it together. And I'm not sure what that was all about. I'm getting an idea of what it was all about. I had done that travel. I went back and I did the keynote in Boston, and that was fantastic. It went really well, but as we all know, travel is exhausting, and certainly putting together a presentation that's that long is exhausting and all of that stuff. So I came back from that really tired, and while I would normally take care of myself after that kind of trip, in this particular occasion, I had like a shit ton of adulting to do after I got back. So I kind of went from doing my autism advocacy stuff right away into adulting. So, and it wasn't like fun kind of adulting. It was like bank stuff, and I had to go to Social Security to defend my disability, and that it's still lifetime and I've still got it. And I had to go do all of that, and that was really demoralizing and depressing and demeaning. And so that kind of was not only exhausting from the physical sense that I had to do a bunch of driving to get where I had to go and all of that stuff, but then mentally just having to play that game. So the game with Social Security is that you always, once you've gotten disability, you want to present the worst case scenario to them when you're talking about your challenges and difficulties. And so it's really hard for me to remember all of that negative feeling about my autism and all of that really feeling hopeless and thinking about my anxiety at its worst and my depression at its worst, and having to admit my struggles with employment once again to another human being, and just having to sort of go back in time to where I was mentally and as a human being when I first got diagnosed and put in to get government support. So I had that to do, and that was unpleasant. It wasn't any fun, and I really didn't get to rest very much of it. It was a lot of rushing around and paperwork and that kind of stuff that's particularly difficult for me. It gives me a lot of anxiety whether I'm doing things right or not. And so that was an exhausting week. And then kind of right on the tails of that, we had Thanksgiving here in America, which is one of our bigger holidays of the year. And that was a lot of... And that day ended up being a fantastic day. I was invited to a neighbor's house for dinner, and we had a really lovely time. And I made puppy pumpkin pies for all of our puppy clients and our neighbors and stuff. And that was really fun. So I had a good time, but nonetheless, spoons, right? Fun or not fun, spoons are used. And so, again, that was a socially exhausting time. And I didn't have a chance to rest after that. And now I'm sort of coming into a time where... So like that was kind of the heels of that week, and then I was like, oh, I have to do newsstand, and I have to think about all the other things besides just this part of talking to you guys that I do to do newsstand, the uploading and the YouTube end of things, but also going back and reviewing all of the articles and making sure that I read them completely and I've understood them and kind of picking them out and all of that stuff. And so I just thought, I just can't. They'll have to forgive me. And so as an example to you guys, I just didn't do it. I just couldn't pull it together. And I also was supposed to be recording my December edition of the Spectrum Women Q&A, asking Spectrum Women, and I didn't have the energy to do that either. So that's another thing that I'm going to be doing after I'm done with this. But what I wanted to say today is that this week was also not letting up on me. This week was also a struggle. This week was my mom's birthday, and as many of you know, my mom passed about 5 years ago, and so every year you want it to be easier, but every year there are dates that come around, and they're hard, and this week was hard. It was hard kind of remembering all of that and remembering sort of her last birthday and things like that. And so I was struggling this year a little bit with that. So that was this early in the week. And then unfortunately, we've had a death in the family, and I have to go deal with that as well this week. And so it was a heavy week. It was like, I don't know, heavy employment, heavy work stuff, and then heavy adulting stuff, and then a heavy holiday, and then heavy death week this week. And so I'm just not getting a break. And what I'm realizing is that the more this stuff just piles on, the more careful I have to be with my energy and my spoons. And so my video to you guys this week is basically to say that I can't do a Neurodiversity Newsstand this week. I'm exhausted. I'm running low on spoons. I have so much more to do in my life than just what I do for advocacy, and I'm having to take some of my advocacy off of my plate and some of my personal stuff off of my plate, and to give myself a chance to kind of rest and recuperate. So what I am going to do, you guys, is I'm going to take a break. What? You crazy person taking a break. Yes, I'm going to take a break. It is December 6th today, which is the first week in December, and I am going to take a break for a couple of weeks. We know December is usually a slow news week. There's not much going on in the news. People not publishing what's important because everybody's thinking about the holiday, and everybody's in a different state of mind. So what I'm going to do for myself is take a couple of weeks off from doing Newsstand and some other things in my life. And then I'm going to come back at you with some fresh energy towards the end of December so I can do kind of a 2019 year wrap up. And kind of talk about some important things, some stuff that went on this year, some stuff we're looking forward to maybe for 2020. But I'll come back to do one more Neurodiversity Newsstand for 2019, and I'm going to give you a nice big yearly wrap up. In the meantime, the one thing I'm going to share with you this week is that the reason I got to the place where I could even do this video for you guys today is because Yenn Purkis put out a fantastic blog this week called "It's Okay to Not Be Okay." And you guys, it is. It's okay that last week I couldn't be perfect and do a Neurodiversity Newsstand for you guys. And yeah, I did. I beat myself up for it for a really long time. And it's okay that I didn't do the Spectrum Women because I was underspooned. Is that a word? I don't know. And so it's okay. And I have to forgive myself for not doing what I had intended to do and for not keeping up with that. But I also have to do myself a kindness and say I recognize that things in my life are suffering because I'm not doing them well or on time because I'm tired. And so I need to take some things off so that I can do the things that I must do well. And then when I have the energy, I can come back and give you more of me. So I'm going to do that for myself and for you so that I can be a good example. I'm going to take a couple of weeks off, and then sometime in between Christmas and New Year's, I'm going to drop a video giving us a year-end wrap-up for 2019. And then starting in January, back in 2020, I'll be doing Newsstand every Friday with you guys, giving you the wrap-up. But this week and last week, autism let me know. I'm tired, and it all takes a toll, and it's time to take care of me. And if I didn't do it, I would be a big old hypocrite because I'm always telling you guys to take care of you. So with that, I'm going to head out and go get into my pajamas because I'm done adulting for today. And then I'm going to take care of me for this weekend. So you have a really good weekend. You take care of you. You set your priorities. And I will be back with more news next year in 2020, and right before it becomes 2020, I'll be back with a news wrap up for you guys. If you don't want to miss either of those things, please take a moment and subscribe to the channel and hit the little bell for notifications so you know when I upload something new. Thank you guys so much for joining me in Neurodiversity Newsstand. I am Becca Lori Hector, your bullshit detector, and I am here to say no bullshit, I'm beat, and I'm gonna go rest. Bye guys.